Laketh, welcome back for the trio.
I am back for the trilogy.
Everyone that's listening to this is into a really, really nice treat today. If you like stocks, I'll give you some stocks to short because it's going to be all the ones we're talking about today.
All the ones that I'm buying.
Every single one.
You can make some serious cash.
So you were saying Zillow was one of the stocks that you were buying, right?
Yep, I'm getting in on Zillow.
Pull that microphone in a little closer. Kind of keep it like a fist from your face.
Yep, I'm getting in on Zillow. After the recent crash, after they reported their earnings, and they announced some bad news with kind of like an inner company, I want to say experiment that they were doing, but like, so they ditched that. And basically my real reason for getting in is I feel like all the time you hear, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy the dip, sell the rise, buy the dip. And so I'm just like, I need to put that to the test. I'm just saying, like, I need to actually, put it to work. If ever, all the time. And I find even myself, I could be guilty of this at times. You like everyone's saying, buy the dip, and then it dips and everyone's nervous.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, well, now's the time to get in. So I mean, I like that. I think long term that's gonna be a good play. I think they're profitable. I forget what their 52 week high was, but they were up there. And I also think that this will give them more of an opportunity to kind of focus in on their business aspects that can keep them building more profit. So I think the main thing that I was kind of thinking is I'm just like, damn, the housing market is obviously not going anywhere. I mean, I know kind of like what you said, the housing market is the highest it's ever been, and obviously they crashed and did crappy. But in the back of my head, I'm just like, damn, I just really believe that they can figure that out and keep it kind of build a head of steam here and kind of turn out to be a winner,
So Zillow's kind of one of those stocks. It's always had a special place in my heart. It's kind of always one of those ones I've never looked into fully or enough to actually buy it, but it's one of those stocks that I've always been attracted to because I feel like they don't have a ton of competition, and I feel like there's where society is going. I feel like there's actually a lot of room for them to grow in the aspect of, even if you just look at it as, say, bidding on houses, I think we're going to get to a point. I don't know when this will be. Otherwise, if I had that insight, I'd probably be buying this company. But I think we're going to get to a point where you can bid on houses online eventually. And I feel like Zillow could definitely be the front runner of that, especially as people continue to move to different states. I think we could definitely see that.
I think that's a great point. And it's kind of like what I said. I feel like it could give them, I feel like they have they're already profitable. I feel like they have a good sense of what they could do to make, better decisions and kind of, wrap their head around that, and kind of, push that thing along. I kind of feel, because I'm also in ARC and they have a lot of Zillow too, but then I also bought the normal Zillow stock. So I kind of feel like I might be into it.
I find it very interesting that Kathy Wood bought Zillow because I haven't looked into it fully, but as of right now, I would not touch Zillow with a 10-foot pole.
All right. Hey, that's why we're here.
You said they're profitable, but they have a negative EPS of 90 cents.
Yep.
So they're not profitable right now. They're losing money.
Oh, is that it?
Their 52-week high was $208. They're at about $61 right now a share, so it is towards the lower end. The lowest it went was $52.57, so it is definitely towards that lower end. But looking at
that's kind of embarrassing because I thought in Q3 they were profitable.
No, Q3 was really bad.
I mean, no, Q2. I thought Q2 they might have been profitable.
I don't know. I just know Q3 there was so much hype and so many concerns around this stock. I looked at the bare minimum.
Yeah. I think Q2 they were profitable.
So that's what my biggest issue with this is. You just had the most successful year the housing market has essentially ever seen, and you still lost money.
Yeah.
That's my... And then I'm looking at... I've got this up on the screen right here. I'm looking at the earnings estimate, and earnings is really tough to predict. There's so many moving factors.
Of course.
if you have a one-time cost or this and that, or you got to pay someone out, this, you got to lay employees off, a severance package. It's really hard to predict from company to company because there's a lot of moving parts. Revenue is much, much easier because you're like,
definitely.
all right, this, whatever industry they're in, that should increase this much. This product, they can increase prices this much. Revenue is much, much easier to predict. Earnings per share is very hard. But looking at this, analysts have an average estimate of 77 cents. So profitable in 2022. But the low estimate's negative $1.35. The high estimate's $1.88. So that's very
wide variety.
So clearly no one has any idea what's going to go on here.
Except me.
Yeah, except you. Everyone just buys Zillow. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it has potential for...
And the other thing I feel like is... it crashed so hard too, I feel like even from when I got in, I feel like I could definitely make a little. I think, what did you say the lowest low was? 52?
52, 57.
What's it at right now? It's like
61. So February 8th, it was at $197 a share. And look at this. It's just like a straight
down
red line, year to date, just...
Yeah, that's tough.
Let's look at the 6-month chart. What is that? That's even worse. That went from $124 to 61. That's even worse. Literally a straight line downwards.
That's what I mean, 62. So, I'm thinking, if they can bounce back just a little, then I'll be,
I see what you mean. I don't know. The thing is, like I said before, you had the best year possible.
That's a good point.
Look at I obviously it's a very different stock, very different company, but look at Zoom, for example. Zoom really was able to take advantage of the pandemic.
That's a good point.
And make a lot of money and really generate a lot of revenue. And Zillow also had a similar circumstance where everything lined up the way it needed to line up, and they still didn't come through for investors at the end of the day.
That's a good point. I just kind of think I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like the housing market is gonna kind of just stay. From what I've heard from people talking to builders and real estate professionals, they kind of think that the real estate's just gonna keep staying steady. Maybe not keep going crazy, but it's not gonna crash anytime soon like some people think.
Well, the unique thing about real estate is, we'll start with the stock market. Actually, in the stock market, people believe different things. I personally believe that we're just gonna go through bullish and bearish markets every few years. I just think every few years it's going to be a crash, correction, recession, and I think that's for the best for the overall health of the market. The thing is with real estate holds up very, very well, even in recessions.
Definitely.
If you go back and look at the recessions throughout the years, real estate does hold up very, very well, except for 2008, which was obviously
worst of the worst.
Right, worst of the worst. We've all had a lot to do with real estate and the banks, and there was a lot that went into that. So that was almost an anomaly at the end of the day. But you hear all these people say, I'm going to buy a house when the market crashes. I'm going to buy a house when the market goes down. And when I hear that, I just want to smack them, to be honest, because clearly they haven't looked at real estate property values over X amount of years.
Given time period. I mean, besides that one instance in 2008, that doesn't really happen.
Right, exactly.
So
to your point, I think you're actually completely right. I don't know if it'll keep going up and up and up, to the moon like Dogecoin.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, I don't personally see it really dropping 25% or anything like that. Maybe you could see a slight pullback. Maybe you could even get 10% if you're lucky.
Yeah.
That might even be a little bit of stretch. Maybe 5%.
Yeah, I agree.
If you had anything.
So we'll see about that.
Yeah. So what else have you been buying besides Zillow?
My other purchase recently was Square, in the same thought process. This is a solid company that isn't going anywhere, and this just absolutely tanked. Let me look and see if I can get in at a decent entry point.
It's actually Block now.
You beat me to it. Actually, I
forgot about that.
I had planned to say that too. I was going to say Block, and I wanted to see if you actually, if you picked up on it. But yeah, Block. Keeping the SQ though, which is interesting.
Square is one of those companies I've always liked. Actually, did I ever tell you I bought Square at $50?
I remember what you're saying.
I bought it at $50 and I wrote it to $200 and sold out because I never got the position filled fully.
Not bad.
That's the problem. I don't even remember how much I had in it. It wasn't a lot.
Hey,
but
still, I'd take it.
I really wish I had the thing is, I bought it at, I think, very close to the absolute bottom.
What year was that?
2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when everything was dropping left and right and no one could leave their house.
Yeah.
That's when I bought it. Like 52.38 was the lowest close. So I got it like literally at the bottom of the bottom.
Wow.
So, I mean, I couldn't time that again. If you put a gun to my head, there was just no way, not to go all dark on you, but there's just no way I could ever do that again if my life depended on it.
Hey.
I just got super lucky. And I kind of wish I started buying earlier because I probably would have got a bigger position built and just made a lot more money at the end of the day.
Oh, hell yeah, you'd be a lot richer than you are now.
You got that right. But I don't know if it's possible. I was going to say, I don't know if it's possible for Square to compete with PayPal, but there's going to be multiple players in that field. Like, PayPal's a stock I look at, and I almost put it in not the same category as Facebook, because I think Facebook has massive growth ahead of it, but I put it in that category in regards to you could buy that company and you're going to double, triple your money over the next 5 years, 10 years. Like there's like PayPal has so much growth ahead of it. It's absolutely insane.
They own Venmo.
Not like growth, but upside, I guess you could
Venmo.
say. Like
they have Venmo.
they do have Venmo, yes.
Yeah. Oh, PayPal definitely seems solid as well. But yeah, so Square, they have Cash App. I like that. And kind of like the same thing that I was just saying about Zillow. I feel like they were, doing well, and then they just got beat down. So I was just like, all right, let me try to get in.
What price point did you buy in?
What's it at right now?
173. They closed that today.
I think I got one. I think it's like 178. Oh. So not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
This is one I kind of like to take a deeper dive into because, all right, 35 analysts cover the stock, right? They were supposed to grow 85% this year. Next year, they're only supposed to grow 7%.
That's interesting.
So why is there such a big drop like that? And let's take a look at PayPal on that same note. PayPal is almost identical across the board. So they were supposed to grow 18% this year, and then in 2022, they're supposed to grow 18.5%.
18 and then 18.5?
Yeah, so it's actually technically 18.2 and 18.5, so, basically identical.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they're supposed to grow, I guess, pretty consistently, but there's such a big drop-off in Square.
Yeah, that is interesting. I know Square is, diving into, the crypto world and all of that, which I think has a lot to do with, the name change.
Right.
So that's actually a good question.
Like I said, this is one I'd like to take a deeper dive into. I don't think I would buy it because I don't know if I can justify the valuation. Like the current P is 100.
Pretty expensive.
Yeah, the current P is 174. And let me look at the forward PE here while I have this up. Forward PE is at 85. But the thing is, if you go back, that is the lowest it's traded at in quite a while. If you look at the forward PEs over the past couple of quarters, 105, 169, 181, 185, 144. So this is the lowest the valuation's been in a while. Same with the price to sales ratio. Price to sales ratio is under 6 now, which is still pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But compared to what it's been the past few quarters, just under 8, a little over 9, 11.5, 13.6, a little over 13. So yeah. I don't know if I can justify the valuation, but I can see why it makes sense from a growth perspective. I'd like a little more guidance on why they're only supposed to grow a little under 7% next year.
Yeah, that is a little weird. But like I said, beaten down stock, not going anywhere. So I was like, let me take a dabble in here and we'll see. So those are the only two recently. Nothing, a little VTI here and there, but nothing.
No more Apple?
No, I actually maybe this sounds stupid, but I actually like my Apple price point right now, so I'm kind of just letting it ride, and they've kind of been killing it lately. So maybe on the next dip, if it ever does, just kind of staying put with that.
I don't think I'd buy Apple
right now. Yeah,
they've been.
Almost. I like the one stock that I've actually been doing really well lately.
Yeah, it's that Google and Microsoft. I think, right? What has Google been doing? Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'll look that up. Alphabet. Google's been pretty solid, it looks like, over the past like 6 months or so. So I don't know. I think so. We're going to get into this a little bit later. I was going to talk about the current state of the market and kind of like my thoughts on it, but we're going to touch upon that a little bit later. So I'll just go away from that for now. But I think looking at Apple, all right, you look at Apple, it's $180 a share, just about. A PE of 31, which really is not that expensive in the grand scheme of things. That's actually attractive. The forward PE, that must be like in the 20s, right? Forward PE is 32. So not the cheapest valuation, but they're going to be around. That's one way to look at it.
They better be.
They're not going away in the immediate future, but they're supposed to grow. This is a company I think it can have very.
I feel like in the back of your mind, you think Apple's the phones are gonna be gone in like a few years. I feel like you think a different content creator is gonna take over for the phones.
Well, it could be Tesla. It could be Facebook.
It could be.
Like, think about it. In business, if you don't replace yourself, eventually someone's going to replace you.
I hear you.
And what has Apple done since the iPhone? Like,
they make a bigger one.
Yeah, what have they really done that was a game-changing product? Like, okay, MacBooks, iPad, it's just a bigger iPhone at the end of the day.
That's a good point.
Like, they've had accessories like the AirPods and like the...
Do you have AirPods?
I do. They're right over there.
I remember I saw a stat like last year where the AirPod revenue was bigger than like a bunch of, I think I probably mentioned this to you, like a bunch of like big tech companies, like just their revenue in AirPods alone was crazy.
And they've put up good numbers too. Like, that's the scary thing. They continue to put up good numbers, but at the end of the day, is that the best ROI you're going to get in the market?
Yeah, no, it's a good,
probably not.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's the way I look at it. I'm like, is this the best place for my money? Especially since it's run so much. And I guess this valuation is almost justified in the sense that the PE is not that high at the end of the day. But I just think there are better deals. And Apple's not going to go from a $3 trillion market cap to a $6 trillion market cap next year. It's just not going to happen. No. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just not going to happen.
No. So if Facebook comes out with the new phone, or if Tesla comes out with the new phone, are you switching?
At first. But I also didn't switch.
Loaded question.
I also didn't switch at first when the iPhone first came out.
Really?
I said to myself, that's the stupidest thing ever. That's never going to work.
Really?
Clearly, I was right? 10-year-old Josh was 100% on with that one.
That's funny. What'd you have before, the Android? Or something?
I had an Android at one point. Yeah, I had an Android. I had like the NV Touch back in the day.
Because I just feel like I am so like used to like the iPhone and like the way it works, and just like no matter what phone they come out with, I'm like not switching. I'm just Apple for life.
Well, you've also had it you've also had it for so many years.
Exactly.
Like this up and coming generation that's even more tech savvy, tech reliant than we were. Like, I'm sure they would not hesitate to switch.
That's a good point.
At the end of the day.
It'll be interesting.
And I think it's possible. Like, when did you get your first cell phone? How old were you? Do you remember?
Like 7th grade.
Yeah,
So
I was like 6th or 7th grade, I think.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is really late these days.
Oh god, yeah.
Really, really late.
Oh god, yeah.
And I feel like when we were that age, it took so much longer for the information to spread, because in 7th grade we weren't on Instagram. I mean, Facebook was around, but not too many people were using it. It was brand new. So it's going to get out to them a lot faster. And I feel like kids are not going to hesitate to make the switch at the end of the day.
They'll be seeing it on TikTok.
Yeah, that's exactly, dude. Like, people cannot get off of TikTok. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Are you on TikTok? Are you a pretty freaking talker?
I am not a TikToker.
I deleted that off my phone too.
Nice.
Life without social media is different.
How long you been pushing that life now? A week? 2 weeks?
Almost. Today's Wednesday. Almost 2 weeks.
Okay.
I still go on it here and there, post podcast stuff.
Yeah.
I usually check my DMs because sometimes I'll like reach out to people whose numbers I don't have over Instagram or Facebook. So I'll DM them. So I'll see if they got back to me. I'll see if they looked at it or whatever the case may be. But as opposed to just going on and scrolling, I really haven't done that. Okay. I'll usually go on when I check the DMs, I'll go on and I'll scroll for maybe a minute, but I've noticed I catch myself very quickly, and I don't even have it on my phone. I just have it on my iPad or I'll go on my computer.
I envy you. That's the way to do it.
Dude, it's crazy. I feel so much more in the moment. It's absolutely insane.
Power of Now, baby.
Yeah, dude, that's a great book.
Power of Now.
Like, I've noticed, but I've been living in this house for over a year, and there's things I've noticed since I've deleted it in the past 2 weeks that I haven't noticed at all.
Really?
Not like necessarily in the house, but things I've noticed like driving by. Like, something that's really interesting is driving in silence. You notice so
I'll do that.
much.
I'll do that once in a while because I feel like the human mind is not supposed to always be like listening to music, listening to the radio, hearing BS at work. Like, I feel like sometimes it's just good to veg out, you know?
Well, that's exactly. I agree. That's the thing that I've noticed is that if you constantly eat, you're constantly going to be full. Like, you almost need to be hungry sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've noticed since I don't always drive with music on, or, you know, I go for a walk and I don't always have headphones in. When I actually sit down to read something, I'm like so much more present and I'm just there.
That's kind of like, I usually do it in the car. I'll like listen to the radio or whatever, but I'll do it at the gym. I won't like listen to any music at the gym, and I just do my workout and just think about like the workout.
How's that?
I like it. I've been doing that for like a long time.
Really?
Honestly, I just found, this sounds ridiculous, but I honestly just found it because I go to like pretty often, and I just found it like super like not stressful, but somewhat like annoying to think of like new songs to listen to like all the time, you know?
Right.
So I was just like shuffling through like the same old songs. I'm like, oh my god, like, so now I just go no music.
That's
Kind of my time to think, you know?
I've noticed that, like, I'll always go for like a walk in the morning, kind of like, you know, in the summertime I'll run. Now I run a little bit later. I'll go around lunchtime. It warms up a little bit, so I'm not running in 25-degree weather. But I still go for a walk in the morning and get some sunlight in. And I've noticed when I go without headphones, I just think. I get these ideas, and it's like nice. It's very nice.
Oh, it's good stuff. I don't even know how we got on that.
Something about social media.
Oh, yeah.
But what I read something the other day, and your brain's going to latch on to those things. So like Instagram, or it's going to latch on to the radio or stuff like that. But the thing is, when you cut all that stuff off and you can't get to it, I'm not talking about like, I'm going to leave my phone on the other side of the room, and then 2 minutes go by and you're like, I'm going to go and check it. I'm talking like when you really can't look at it, your brain's going to look for something to latch onto, whether it's a TV show or whether it's a sign on the side of the road. It's going to actively look for something to latch onto. So it's almost like you can spin it, like detox yourself and use that dopamine and that energy in a positive way to be more productive.
That's oh my bad. That's an interesting perspective. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Like, just try it like obviously, like if you're going for like a 5-hour car ride, I don't know if I'd be doing that entire thing in science.
Not the time to do it.
But if you're like at a 10-minute ride,
yeah.
It's like, why not just try it and see what happens? You'll, like you said, you just think so much better, and you're just almost at peace in silence.
I totally agree with that. I like that.
Like, I'm talking, I'll notice the sound of the car. I'll notice the sound of my blinker, like things like that. Like, I've never noticed before. I'm like, that really sounds like that. Never noticed.
Normally got music on or sports talk or something.
Yeah, or it's like sports radio or a podcast or anything along those lines. But yeah, anyway, back on topic and back to the market. What do you make of this current, I don't want to call it a crash, but this current correction we've got going on here?
I feel like I should like it more than I actually do.
No surprise.
At least I admit it. At least I admit
that's true. You're honest.
You know? I just, it just puzzles me. Not puzzle. It just kind of upsets me. I'm looking at each day and I'm
down red,
just getting crushed. And it's almost to the point where it's like you try to build up a cash position one week, but then the next week this happens and you're like, okay, like, all right, now I got to go in.
Oh, dude, I've had such a hard time building cash.
So it's like a tough to balance. Yeah, I really find that's what I've struggled like with the most, because it's you don't know. You don't know like when to are we at the or it's like I've seen like some people on Twitter or whatever, and it's funny, I saw like one guy, he said, "Oh, a couple of you guys were trying to call the bottom like last week," and like I'd love to tweet back at that guy, like, you know, right now and be like, "Well, you were just trying to call the bottom last week and that didn't work." So that's what I've found that I personally struggle with the most, is just trying to decide, like, you know, when to take that cash out from the sidelines and try to like get into a new position. But you know, I mean, it's good, but I guess I don't love it.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see over like the next, even to like end the year, you know, 2 weeks and the start of kind of earning season in January, you know, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. How do you feel?
So I kind of feel a little bit similar. I feel like I've had a very difficult time building cash. I made a video, I don't remember when it was, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I said I put a lot of money into the market. I want to build up cash, but the deals haven't gone away, and some of these stocks like are trading at like price to sales ratios of 1.
Yeah.
They're growing revenues like 20%.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how can I not
Pass it up?
Yeah, how can I not buy more of this company? It's like getting to the point where it's insanely easy money at the end of the day. But at the same time, I feel like these valuations, it's hard for me to imagine going much lower on one end, because they're just beaten down insanely, and they've been beaten down for a while, and they're posting good earnings, and they just keep going down. So I feel like it can't last too much longer. I feel like I've said this before, there's going to be a big rotation in money out of stocks like Apple or Google and things like that, and eventually they're going to go into these smaller cap stocks that I've been buying a lot of, and I think that just makes a lot of sense, because the pendulum always swings back at one point or another.
Oh god, yeah,
absolutely.
Can't just keep going the same way.
I feel like there's also been a lot of tax loss harvesting going on, and I feel like that's been driving this market down a lot more, because at the end of the day, some people might be saying, I made X amount of money in this stock or this asset, and I own this
in GameStop.
Yeah, GameStop, that NFT guy. But they'll be saying, I made this much money in this asset, I made this much money in this stock, and then they're saying, I own this stock that's down 30% and hasn't moved all year. Why all of a sudden would it shoot up 40% the last week of the year? So I guess it makes sense in a way, if you have that big a number in gains, to sell, wait the 30-day period, and just put your money back in. Obviously, you take the risk of that stock skyrocketing. I don't like to play that game, but I can see why people do.
That's a good point. I am with you. I know that you probably think that I wouldn't be, but I'm with you. I don't really like that.
I feel like it's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I don't like that at all, because I just feel like, for the most part, like obviously like some people do, but we don't like see the stock market as gambling. But I feel like you just like increased it being gambling like so much more with that, you know, if you do that. And it's like, most people that are doing that, I feel like don't like really, I mean, I could be wrong, like need cash or need the money. I mean, maybe they could, maybe they're buying a house or maybe they're doing something or whatever, but like, so it's like, why wouldn't you just wait it out, and rather than like risk yourself like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously I know you're helping yourself a little bit come tax time, but I just don't know if it's worth it, you know?
That's the thing. It really just depends on what shows up when you roll the dice.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends like how much money you're talking here. I mean, obviously for me it wouldn't be like a big deal, but for someone who's making like hundreds and thousands, if someone made like 100,000 in the market or even more, you know, like obviously like that's significant to maybe dabble in that. But
yeah, like if you have like $700,000 worth of gains,
exactly,
and you can't the thing is, and if you sold, that money has to come from somewhere to pay those taxes, and I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Oh god, yeah.
I find a lot of people that I've seen, they'll make, you know, whatever, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. They'll sell out of that position for whatever reason, better place to put the money, they don't like the company anymore, whatever the case may be. They put that into a different stock, and then they go see their accountant at the end of the year and like, we need 150 grand from you, which you don't have.
Yeah.
I heard this one story about this guy who I think he bought He might have bought like Tesla stock and he put a lot of money into it. Ended up selling out of Tesla stock. Took that money and he went and bought a Bugatti, and he couldn't afford to pay the taxes on Tesla stock, so he had to go and sell the Bugatti
and go down to like Honda.
Isn't that like absolutely insane? But that's what I mean. People don't think like that.
That's like, it's two parts. One, yeah, people don't think like that. They don't realize that like they actually have to pay money like on their gains. And two, I don't know if you know this about me, but my old job was tax accountant. I did that for like almost 2 years. And like the most interesting part to me was like looking and seeing like what stocks like people were buying and selling. Mostly when you're doing that part of it, you kind of can't tell like when they're buying. You can only know when they're selling. Yeah. So I really liked that. That was like my favorite part of the job.
Did you see like anything insane in that job? Like you were thinking, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
There was one person that was like day trading like partnerships, which was like kind of like ridiculous.
Partnerships?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like forms that came on like Form K1s, like buying and selling, like, yeah. So that was like a little ridiculous. Not so much like ridiculous, but I saw like it was in like a pretty like wealthy area, like where I was working, and there was just this one guy that just had like so much Apple that he had bought, like, because like when you sell like a little bit, obviously like on the 1099, like you can say like you can see when the purchase date was.
Yeah.
And this is just like he buying this like in the 90s, like so like
shoot.
So long ago.
What was that even like in the 90s? Keep going.
And I remember just like talking to my manager about it. And by the way, it might have like, I don't know exactly in the 90s, but like at some point in the 90s. And
that was under $1.
Yeah, like literally insane. And I remember like talking to my manager about it, and he's like, oh yeah, he'll sell off like 1,000 shares like every year.
1,000 shares,
or like, you know, roughly, you know. I'm just like, oh my god, like that's insane. So I definitely saw some interesting stuff, so that was interesting. But yeah, the tax sound like around this time, I don't know, it's not really for me. I feel like you're making it out to be like more of a risk than it actually needs to be. Do
you know how many shares that guy had in Apple? Do you have any idea?
Well, it was tough to know because he would be selling like each year.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to like go back and like look at each turn and see.
That would have been nice.
But yeah, dude, like it was literally insane.
It's interesting because in the 90s, Apple was like a legit bankrupt candidate.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand that. They think Apple's like, the most profitable company in the world, like cash cow machine. It's like for a while, wasn't looking too good there for good old Apple.
Dude, it was crazy. I mean, just seeing like how many like dividends people like really roll in. Like you want to talk about like dividend like investing, just like how much people like more than I make in a year, people are pulling in like a quarter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dividends, just like insane. So that was definitely an interesting part of the job.
I'm still stuck on this tax loss harvesting thing. I don't know if I would ever do it, but I think I'd have to be put in the right situation to do it. Like, I think it would have to be something where it's like, okay, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars in gains.
I would like to do it because it means I was set up pretty nice for the year.
Or you're just an idiot, one or the other.
Yeah.
But I would have to probably have made like a minimum of, I don't know, a few $100,000 a year. And that's profits, not just like the portfolio going up. Like, I'd have to take profits on a few $100,000. And then I'd probably not have to have the amount, like, obviously rough math in my head. Like, I wouldn't have the cash to pay those taxes, or it would put me in like, it'd be like all the cash to my name. Then obviously I'd have to have a really down stock. But I also think I would need to have a better place to put that money for the time being.
Yeah, giving it to the IRS.
Like, yeah, right? No, but I mean, I'd sell off that stock, like the loser, and I'd put it into something else. So I probably have to look at that where it's like, I'll take this loss, and I think this stock has a lot of upside in the short term, so I'll put it into that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the only way I could do that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like, I guess the moral of the story is don't be low in cash.
Yeah. That's the thing when you're in a market like this and everything's dropping. It's like, I've had legit thoughts of going under 5% cash. I've really been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like really, really been thinking about it. And obviously I'm gonna have to make a decision soon, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's like too good to be true.
I know it's tough. It's really tough to think about because it's like you could make that decision, but it could keep going down the next month or so.
Yeah.
You know? So it's tough and it's interesting. And I feel like it's the first time that I've like really like kind of analyzed it and like kind of been put in this situation. Like I've been investing for a little bit, but not like I feel like as actively as I have been lately.
I feel like it'll be interesting to see what happens in the first of the year, first month, January, whenever that rolls around, when this tax loss harvesting is done, to see where this market goes. That's what I'm really interested to see, because if you look back to 2018, which is really kind of the last time we had a down market, which a lot of people don't know this. I saw this in a video the other day. 2018 was the worst December we've had since the Great Depression. And
wow.
Obviously, I mean, it's only a few years down the line, but this is the worst December we've had since 2018. And there's really been no Santa Claus rally. The market usually drifts higher in December. We haven't really seen that this year. So you put that in the equation, it's even more of a reason to just buy now.
Yeah, it's tempting.
So I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens. But kind of moving on here. Do you think CNBC... What do you think of CNBC? Let me just ask you that first.
I'm not really a fan. I mean, it's okay, but I just feel like their articles kind of like, in a way, make investing like almost seem like easier than it is, if that makes sense. I mean, like it could be easy because you could just buy mutual funds and like, you know, obviously like total stock market, not have to worry about it. But I don't know, like if, you know, because their articles, it's just like it'll be like, you know, a few paragraphs and it's like, you know, buy, sell, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm not really a fan. What do you think?
I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
Yeah.
I actually think it's the opposite. I think CNBC actually makes it a lot harder for investors.
Really?
Yeah. I think that, like, if you look at, there's been tons of studies and experiments done where it's like the people's portfolios that have performed the best over so many years, either one of two things happened to them. One, they died. Two, they forgot about it. Those are the people whose portfolios performed the best. And I feel like CNBC is a lot of trading. It's a lot of in and out. It's a lot of technical analysis, which if you're day trading, that's completely fine. Yeah. But I feel like these guys on CNBC, these guys on Wall Street are trying to more time the market. And like you've said, the first time you come on, it's time in the market, not timing the market.
Definitely.
So when I like buy something, I just say, what, like, I'm not going to sell it unless, like, you know, something happens. But like if the stock goes down, I'm not going to be afraid to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I just meant in more of the sense that I feel like their articles are so short that like they're only like a couple paragraphs, and then it's like, yeah, we suggest a buy rating or whatever, like something crazy like that, you know? Or,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I also think it's just weird that they talk about a lot of technical analysis in there.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, it's a double top, like you should sell here. It's like, all right, so what does that have to do with the fundamentals? Why does a double top not change the fact that this company grew revenue 35% last quarter year over year?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. And that's what I feel like is not talked about a lot on these mainstream media platforms.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it just shows that I actually don't read those that often.
Probably not.
Yeah. I feel like I used, like when I was first like looking like into stocks, like I feel like I would read them, and I don't know, I just wasn't really like too big of a fan.
They are pretty short. They're definitely biased, I feel like.
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing is I feel like the guy who writes the article, like obviously, like
yeah, even like not just for stock market related articles, but like the news in general. I feel like these articles are very biased, and I feel they're articles that
the news being biased. Yeah, thank you.
I feel like they're articles that like I could write.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? I'm no creative writer, but just the language, it's like for any 10-year-old can read.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, it's weird because, like you said, they have like some like some stuff in there that kind of like makes it seem like a little more difficult. But like I said, like I just feel like they're just like way too short to like just like dive in like that. I don't know. I
guess it's good if you're short on time and you just need a real kind of like surface level type thing. Maybe it's not that bad because I go on there and I'll spend some time on there and just read because obviously reading stuff's on there is probably better than not reading anything at all.
Oh, definitely.
But at the same time, I feel like you got to find whatever you're looking for in that article and take that back to
another place.
Yeah, take that back somewhere else and continue to do some research on that, and then ultimately develop an opinion based on that advanced literature, I guess you could say.
I agree.
So, speaking of CNBC, I was reading the other day about Kathy Wood's new...
Talk about trading in and out.
I know. Oh my God. Kathy Wood has no fear. Like, she's like full on like Tom Brady down 25 points in the fourth quarter. Like, I don't care. We're taking the win. Like, I can't even... You talk about diamond hands. Like, baby, she's got diamond everything. Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, I don't know, man. That woman feels nothing.
But now
nothing.
And now she can be shorting.
That scares me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever buy that.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I've read about that as well. But yeah, she's I don't want to say crazy, but like
I almost wonder if
it's too much.
Well, I will give her credit because she didn't make it available to the public yet.
Yeah, she's testing it.
Yeah, so maybe she'll test it and she'll realize this was actually the dumbest idea I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah. Maybe she'll do it and she'll kill it.
Yeah, maybe. But my thing is, so when is this going to become available to the public, first of all? Because it's easy to, I don't know, outperform the market or have a good year with that ETF for 1 year. But if that ETF's around for 20 years, is that really going to outperform the market over that 20-year period or the majority of the time? Because when you buy an ETF like that or a hedge fund, you're doing it to outperform the market. Obviously, we all know that doesn't happen very often, but I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm really interested to see what happens with this.
It's kind of like back to what I was saying about the tax loss. Like, it's almost like you're making it harder. Like, I feel like you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. Like,
I feel like that's the game of investing in general. Everyone wants this elaborate explanation. They want this like elaborate, I don't know, this really convoluted process as to how they can beat the market and become rich. It's very simple. Buy great companies, hold them, buy ETFs, hold them, and you will be wealthy. Yeah. And people think that's too easy. It's like, no, you just aren't patient enough.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Warren Buffett said it best. The stock market's device from transferring money from the impatient
to the patient.
Exactly.
It's funny. I follow this guy on Twitter, and he only buys like S&P 500 ETFs. He has like 2 of them that he buys. And he's like saying all the time, like, I am not a stock market genius, but I have better, I have better patience and more like wealth knowledge than like the average person, just a little bit more than the average person. And he's like, I think he's like net worth is like 2 million or something. Or something like that.
Like it's really not.
And all he buys are S&P 500 ETFs.
That's all you need to buy. Yeah. That's really all it is. Yeah. Like if you look at the chart over time, it's like basically a straight line at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy at how simple it actually can be.
Do you know what stocks Kathy Wood's shorting in this new portfolio? I have literally no idea.
It's gonna be whatever.
Whatever
ones aren't using the technology that she likes. I think is what I read. It's like something like that.
I think it's like she's holding like disruptive companies like Tesla, Zoom, like stocks like those, but then she's shorting, I think, their competitors.
Maybe it's
or something like that.
I thought it was like if they're not using some technology that it might be. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. If they're not in on like technology that she's in on, then she's shorting them.
Like for example, like with Tesla, she'd short like Ford stock or something like that. Just for example, like I don't know if she would do that, but that's just what it sounded like from what I was reading on it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's tough because it's like if like being in the same like sectors and stuff, like. It's gonna like for the most part they somewhat, not obviously the whole way, but for the most part the sectors kind of follow each other a little bit.
I have no idea, dude. I don't know if I'd ever buy this ETF. Yeah, would you buy it?
I don't think so. No, maybe no, I don't think so.
You own ARK straight up, right?
Yeah, the regular one, which has been doing absolutely terrible.
So has everything else.
Yeah, true.
like
true.
That portfolio I was looking at the other day, it's just like getting tanked. It's like getting murdered.
Literally everything you could think. It's like Zillow. It's like
every stock you don't want to own right now. It's like that's not that portfolio.
Like, oh my god. And like I bought some of that like I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm like, all right, this has gotten like hammered. I'll buy like a few like some more shares. Down.
How do you feel about Kathy Wood in general?
I mean, I think I think I like her. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the I liked the I like the ETF just because it's all like growth stocks, and I feel like it's kind of aggressive, and it's good to be in like at a young age because I feel like over time like that mix of stocks is definitely going up. But since I've read about like the kind of aggressive like steroids thing, I'm kind of like, what's going on with this? You know?
It's just very interesting all around. I feel like everyone connects her to Tesla because Tesla essentially made her.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, and I think that portfolio is going to perform well personally. I don't think she's going anywhere, but I am interested to see if she finds any
new winners.
Any huge winners over the next like 5 or 10 years or so.
Oh God, yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's going to be really interesting at the end of the day, but
hopefully she can get some.
I'll definitely be keeping track of it. I can't say I'm going to be buying that new ETF by any means at all, but
no. What about the beaten down one? What about the one that I have?
Dude, I just don't have a desire. Like, to be honest, if I'm going to buy something like that, I would just put it into an S&P 500.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's like, am I put it in there? Am I going to make money?
Probably.
I'd rather just put it in the S&P, so that way I don't even have to worry about it. I don't even have to look into it. I don't have to. It's just very easy.
You got to get a tattoo soon. That's on your back. It's going to say, "Is it the best place for my money?" Question mark.
Screw you, man.
That's good to be.
That's what I say to everyone. People, even you. Like, people ask me, like, "What should I do?" I'm like, "All right, what's the best place for your money?
Yeah.
Do you have a better place to put the money?" It's just like basic things at the end of the day.
Oh God, yeah.
And the thing is, like, all right, I could sell this stock. What am I going to do with that money? Am I going to leave it in cash? Like, because when you leave it in cash, it's getting taxed every single day by inflation.
Yeah.
Like, so what am I going to do with it? Am I going to put it in my bank account? Do I have another stock I like more? Do I have another asset class? Am I, starting something? Like, what am I doing with that money?
Oh, of course. And it's very true.
It's a business decision at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Kind of go into the self-development side of things to wrap up here. So, over the next 5 years, what are kind of some things that you're trying to stop doing or do more of to kind of move forward? I'm interested to see what you have to say about this.
So I have a good answer. This actually kind of feel like makes me question my financial literacy, but I've really got to. Do you have any student loans or no?
No.
So I have student loans that have been frozen since like the pandemic.
Oh shoot, really?
But they're about to come back. And I've been like trying to invest, I've been trying to invest as much as I can. And I've only been making because you haven't had to make payments.
Yeah.
So I've made like some payments here and there, but I haven't been like hitting it off like as hard as I should. So my 2022 is like, I haven't thought about an actual percentage yet, but all the money that I was investing, like I need to say like, okay, like 40% of that will still be invested and like 60% of that will be, or like something like that.
It's like cut in half.
Something. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's coming up in January.
That sucks.
I know.
What's the interest rate?
It's like 5%, 4 or 5%. Yeah. So I've got
awful, but it's not very good.
No, it's not awful, but it's not good. So I've really got to stop getting in on stupid plays where I'm missing money somewhere I'm not making money because I got to start paying that off. Which I don't have I have like around like 21 like grand.
Yeah.
Which is like not terrible compared to some people that I know, but
I know people that have 6 figures, well over 6 figures.
So it's not obviously good. So I definitely want to do that. That's something I'm really trying to like get rolling with. Off top, not so much like personal finance related.
Oh, it can be anything.
Eat a little healthier. I don't eat terribly, but like just try to like. I've really fallen off from cooking in the past like 2 months.
Really, you eat out a lot?
I'll make like one thing for the week and I'll like really stretch it to like last for the full week. Whereas like I should make like a couple meals, to like last. Like,
do you have a crock pot?
No.
Dude, you gotta get a crock pot. That's the thing. Yeah. What I've been doing is I'll throw chicken in the crock pot. Like, when I run out of food, I'll go buy chicken at Walmart. It's like $10.
Yeah.
Then I'll grab a 2-pound bag of rice. It's like less than $2. It might even be $1. I'll cook that up. I'll make like 6 or 7 meals.
Stuff
there
like,
you go.
Yeah,
Set for the week.
Stuff like that.
And that's like under $15. It's like very cheap.
Yeah. I don't eat unhealthy, but I could definitely eat like a little healthier. So those are 2 things. Just like spending money on stupid stuff like a little less, like drinks, food, like stuff like that, just so I can have more money in the market, more money, student loans, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like to read a little bit more. This sounds like absolutely horrible. I read 3 books in 2021.
Really?
Which was like,
what were the 3?
I've read a Pat Tillman book, which was awesome. I really liked that. I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read The Power of Now. But I have a list of like 6 or 7 that I'd like to read in 2022. So I'd like to do that. That's on my list. And that's about it. Nothing like too crazy. I mean, I feel like most people, you gotta hit the gym. I could do that. I mean, I do that. I try to stay in shape, but yeah, pay off that student loan, eat a little healthier, read a little bit more, stay off the phone, I guess.
It sounds like all good things around, like moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we're getting the ball rolling. What about yourself? Anything? The best New Year's resolution I ever made. I forget exactly what year it was. It was probably like 2010 or 2011. When I was younger, I drank a lot of soda, and like literally like one New Year, like I said, it was maybe I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. I was like, okay, no more soda. And I don't like casually drink soda ever anymore.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, once in a while, like with an alcoholic, beverage here and there. But
more understandable.
I don't like casually drink soda, which is good.
I don't believe in New Year's resolutions.
I actually am with you. Like,
I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
It really is.
I was saying this.
Like, why don't I just start eating healthier today?
That's what I said.
Literally, it is the dumbest thing ever. My only excuse for the eating healthy is I'm like, like the holidays are coming up, so like I'll eat like some stuff then. But totally, I think they're stupid. Like, I'm with you. And the thing about the student loans is like they start getting paid again. Like the due date starts again on January 31st. So I'm just like, okay, like I'll start like aggressively going at that a little bit more. But I'm with you. I think they're dumb.
Like you said, it's one thing if it's like December 27th, and you're like, all right, we'll start the first of the year.
Yeah,
I think you can 6 of one, half of the other. I think you can argue that, but it makes a little bit more sense. I see people like Halloween. Yeah, they're like, I'll start the first of the year. It's like, bro, you got 2 months to go. Yeah. You're just gonna continue,
and you're not gonna do it.
Yeah, right.
You're not gonna do it. You'll do it for 2 weeks, dude. And then you'll fall off.
By the time the first rolls around, that thought's gonna be so far out of your mind. It's gonna be absolutely insane. I truly believe that. Like, especially if you have that time, like just start now.
I'm not gonna say who this is, but I know someone who like was like gonna like join the gym or whatever and didn't want to like join this particular gym or like whatever, and like just was gonna start from scratch and was like waiting. I'm just like, dude, like why don't you just start? Like just get it going. Like just start, get it rolling, and then like why wait? You know what I'm saying? I just don't, but so yeah, I'm with you. I think it's dumb.
I think people just get more nervous and afraid. I think that kind of takes a toll on them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah. And then they just find an excuse to stay in their comfort zone.
Yeah. So what's today's date? The 15th?
It is the 15th.
Any 12/15 resolutions? Over the past few weeks? Nothing.
Really?
Well, the no social media. That was a big one. You did that.
Yeah. But that wasn't something I contemplated I guess I did contemplate it for a little bit. But it's like, I just did it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't something I could easily been like, I'll start January 1st. I'll delete my social media, or after the holidays, I'll get rid of it. Yeah. It's like, I still have it, but just not having it on my phone is such a game changer. It's absolutely insane. I love it so much because, you can make the argument, it's still on your iPad, it's still on your computer, but it's like,
well, you're doing business stuff.
Yeah. Business stuff. But also when I'm out and about, exactly. Like, like when we go to the game Saturday, I'm not going to be on Instagram because I don't have it and I refuse to download it. Yeah. And I'll be gone the entire day. Yeah. As opposed to if I had it, I'd probably check it here and there, get any updates, any DMs. Like,
oh, God, yeah.
And you should read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. It really shows how much time you can actually make. It's really good.
I heard of it. I forget from who. Maybe it was you.
Probably. I'm a pretty big advocate for that book.
Really? Who's it by?
Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
I've also read his book, The 4 Hour Body. I would not recommend that book.
4 Hour Body.
Yeah. Not a fan.
What about working out?
Yeah, working out, nutrition, all that stuff.
Huh.
I think you might look at it as a little bit, I don't know, better. You might like it more than I did, but I also have a nutritional background, and I've studied kind of the science of nutrition from a lot of different scientists, and like I've listened to a lot of different podcasts pertaining to that, so I also have a better understanding.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
I feel like his book was more of I don't want to say biased, but it was more what worked for him and what he does. Yeah, almost like a biography type thing. So I can't say he's lying or wrong. He's just said, this works for me. Go do it.
It's different for everyone.
Yeah, I just didn't really agree with a lot of the principles he brought up in that book personally.
That's cool, though. Could I add it to the list?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll go from 7 or 8 to whatever it is, maybe $9 now.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I don't have a ton of things that I really want to try a lot of things. I feel like I'm at a very unique point in my life where I don't have a ton of responsibilities unless they're more on the arbitrary side, and I give myself responsibilities like doing this, or I'm trying to learn Spanish right now. Like, and I try
to.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I've been spending a lot of time trying to learn Spanish.
Why?
Just to learn it.
Wow.
Why not?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I took Spanish literally from probably 5th or 6th grade until all the way through college. And
really,
I literally, this is probably terrible, but the whole time I just looked at it as just get through it. You'll never use this in your life. And that's just how I thought of it. And I literally just didn't try at all with it. And I don't know any Spanish. Probably a stupid way to look at it, but it's how my thought process was.
You would probably,
for delinquent Blake.
If you started to try to go back and learn Spanish, you would probably notice that you retained a lot of that information.
Oh my God, I feel like I would not.
No, you probably would just by looking at it. Because I thought the same thing.
Did you take in college?
Yes, I took it 2 years in college. I took it in middle school, and I think 3 or 4 years in high school. I can't remember. That was a long time ago. But yeah, and haven't touched it.
What made you? What kind of led you to do that?
I always thought it'd be cool to learn another language and not speak it fluently, but be able to hold a conversation with someone. I think that always thought that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
So I've started doing that for the past couple of weeks.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty sweet.
And the issue that I have with that, and I'll go back to what I was saying in a second, but my issue and what I was thinking is, okay, so I take these courses and I learn Spanish. I don't know anyone that knows Spanish. So I would my fear was, okay, I learned this stuff and then I just lose it again.
You never use it.
Yeah. And when would I use it? Like, I could essentially not speak a word of Spanish the rest of my life, and knock on wood, I'd probably be okay.
That's exactly how I thought about it. Yeah. I don't know anyone that speaks Spanish. Most likely, working, I'm most likely never going to have to use it. Just stuff like that. So I was just
right. It. So what I'm planning on doing is, once I have a high enough level of understanding,
going on a trip overseas.
Well, that eventually that is in the cards, but I'm not going to live overseas.
No, I meant for a couple weeks.
That'd be cool.
Test it out.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I'd ever not have a problem with the accent, because it's one thing if you and I have a conversation in Spanish because you don't have the Spanish accent, but if I went overseas, I think I would have a harder time understanding. Anywho, that's beside the point.
And don't worry, people, the next one that we do isn't going to be in Spanish.
Imagine that. Oh, that'd be funny. If we did a whole podcast in Spanish. Not even Joe Rogan can do that. But anyway, my plan is to, when I journal, to write my initial thoughts in English and then rewrite it in Spanish.
Okay, that's a good way.
That's what came to mind. I'm like, that's a great idea.
That's a good way.
I mean, maybe if I write 3 or 4 pages, I wouldn't write the whole thing in Spanish. The journaling is
probably a page and a half page, between a half page and 2 pages.
Yeah, I would say 2 pages is the higher end. That's when it's everything in my life is going completely wrong. But usually I'd say half a page to a page on generally. I think I usually get 2 entries a page or so.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be cool.
That would be. And like you said, it'd be a good way to keep it going. But are you taking a class online?
It's through, how do I say it? Duolingo?
Okay.
Duolingo? Okay. Duolingo, that's what it is. Duolingo.
It's expensive?
It's free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They actually just went public recently.
Wow.
Interesting. I don't know much about the company and the balance sheet, but I know they just went public.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, I feel like with this unique time in my life, I should spend it to learn or try a lot of different hobbies and a lot of different things, because I feel at some point, like I was saying before, I'm going to take on more responsibilities. Obviously, what they are is a little bit to be determined, but I won't have as much time as I do now. So I feel like I should try a lot of things, kind of try to keep those hobbies alive, for lack of a better phrase. And then when I do start to take on more of these responsibilities, I can really just hone in and have those couple of hobbies as like me time, for example.
No, you're totally right. I totally agree, and I kind of think of it as the same thing. Like I've tried to kind of like gone into some different, like a few different hobbies, like over the past like few years.
Hold it a little closer.
I've done like, I totally agree. I've done like a few different hobbies like over the past like few years that I've tried to pick up. I like tried surf. I've done like surfing, like picked up golf, just like different things. It's just kind of like, you know, you have extra time like without these responsibilities, you know. So I'm just like, yeah, like let me get into some different stuff, you know.
I'd love to learn how to surf.
We could do it this summer.
I was thinking about doing it this summer.
Dude,
I know nothing about it. I'd love to do it.
I knew absolutely nothing about it. My parents like moved to Portsmouth when I was living in Boston, so they lived like right by the water. So it was like, in a sense, like I moved to Newport, so I'm even closer to the water. But I was just like, damn, like let me like give this a shot. So I didn't take a lesson or anything. I just like went full force, bought a board, like bought the wetsuit, and just went out there by myself.
That's
and
crazy.
Literally, like, I'm not gonna say I was good at all, but like I definitely like kind of like taught myself. Yeah, I didn't just I watched like a bunch of YouTube videos, but I didn't like get a lesson or anything. Super fun.
That's
dude.
crazy.
Like,
I'm definitely down.
Like so much fun. Nice like summer day. Oh god, yeah, it's great.
So, how do you want to grow as a person over the next 5 years? Like, what do you kind of have?
I feel like it's all kind of just like financial type things. I feel like I'm pretty mature. Like I'll be 26 in January. I feel like I'm like pretty mature for my age.
Damn, you old as shit, boy.
I know. I know. So I feel like I'm pretty mature, so I don't really like feel like I have to make moves in that sense. It's kind of tough. I feel like just kind of like try to like advance my career, and just kind of like honestly like I said to you when you're talking power of now, I feel like I spent a lot, because like I'm still, you know, it's not old, still like relatively young. Yeah. So just honestly, just try to like live in the moment and just like appreciate like every day. I find that like when I was younger, when I was in not so much high school, but right after high school, like when I was in college, I was always looking forward to the next thing. I was always like, my thoughts were always about like, oh, I'm going to be doing this and this is going to be awesome. Oh, I'm going to be, you know, working here and this is going to be great. Oh, I'm going to be living here and this is going to be awesome. Oh, I'm going to be doing this in 6 months. Like I'm going on this trip or that trip. And I just like really feel like I wasted like so much of my time just like not being present with myself. That's just, and forget the January 1st. That's just like something that I'm trying to work on like every day as well. Just trying to be like totally present, you know? I
think a lot of people do that. Like you hear,
it's terrible. It's so bad. I'm glad that I like kind of like snapped out of it and like thought about it, but it's just like, dude, like what are you doing? Like
even like kids these days, it's like, I can't wait till the summer. I can't wait to go back to school and see my friends. Yeah. I can't wait till winter break. I can't wait till this test is over. Everyone's always focused on the future. And I think that might be part of the reason why a lot of people look back and they have regrets, because they didn't enjoy the ride. Like I remember I watched an interview with Brett Favre after he won the Super Bowl, and he felt this is it. Like he didn't understand. He didn't have that, like I guess, awesome feeling that you usually get when you accomplish something like that. Because people that win the Super Bowl, that's something you work for your whole life.
God, yeah.
And he ultimately said, I don't think I enjoyed the journey as much as I should have.
It's sad. It's like actually sad to look back on.
Yeah.
You know, a movie I kind of like it. It makes me kind of think of it. Click with Adam Sandler. It's like an old movie.
That's a good way to look at it. I think it's a great way to look at it.
I was watching it one time at like a particular point in my life, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is like could be me. Like I was always looking forward to the next thing. Always gonna do this. Gonna be here. And it was just such a terrible way to live. Like you gotta just like be totally present. And I feel like especially like even when you're working, like, you know, you work obviously 9 to 5, and it's just so crucial to like enjoy like that window of nighttime that you have, and not try to like worry about work the next day. Just be like, okay, like, you know, making my dinner, I'm going to the gym, and just enjoy that hour of the gym. Enjoy like, you know, the hour of whatever you're doing, like, before you go to bed or whatever. It's just, I feel like it's like so crucial.
Yeah, I agree completely. Last question for you.
What's up?
2022 goals. What do you got for me?
Kind of like I said, kind of all of what kind of like just wrapped up on definitely like trying to be present every day, paying off some
those loans.
Keep investing. I got a few trips that I also want to travel. I don't know. I'm gonna pay off all my loans, I'll invest all my money and go on a few trips and invest a few trips and go on a few trips. But there are definitely some places that I want to see. In 2022, I'm going to Nashville with a couple friends in the first week of January. I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. You like country music or no?
I do like country music.
Some good
more pop country.
Yeah, same. Going there. That should be fun. That's somewhere I wanted to visit recently. And I really want to go to Arizona.
I want to go to Arizona so bad.
I want to go to Scottsdale. I've heard nothing but good things.
I want to go see the Grand Canyon so bad.
Same.
That's like the number one place on my list.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Wow. Yeah. That's high. That's something I really want to do in 2022. More specifically, I want to loop it in and like rent a car and drive to Vegas for a couple days too.
Because I looked this up.
It's not that far. It's like 5 hours.
Yeah. I think it's actually shorter from the Grand Canyon. I think it might be 3 or 4.
Yeah. It's not that bad. Like from the Grand Canyon, it's even closer from like Scottsdale, Phoenix area. It's like 5. It's not bad.
Because I looked it up and to go to the Grand Canyon, it's kind of weird because you can't fly too close near it.
Yeah.
So you can either fly into Arizona or you can fly into Vegas, and it's almost an identical drive to the Grand Canyon, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's not bad. So got a few places I'm going to travel. Just mainly those few things. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
What else do you have for me? Do you have anything you want to ask me before we wrap this up here?
I don't know. I feel like I know everything. I'm interested about the Spanish. Maybe I'm gonna ask you more about that off the podcast. So that interests me. Are there any? I feel like I'm always curious about this with you. Any new companies that you're looking to analyze and get in on?
I told you about DocuSign.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at that one. I haven't done too much more research since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah.
It takes me a while to go through them, especially now because I have all this stuff going on.
Busy.
But I try to dedicate a little bit of time each day to go through it because I know if I don't, I'll just I'll be like, oh, tomorrow. So I try to delegate at least a little bit of time each day to kind of go through it a little bit. I don't really have anything that's come across my radar, mainly because these stocks keep getting hit. So I've got more tunnel vision where it's like I have these positions built out to a very sizable position. Some I want to build out a little bit more. So I'm kind of just focused on that right now.
Makes sense. That's cool.
And then, we'll kind of see what happens. First of the year, hopefully, these babies start to turn.
Get it rolling.
Yeah, dude. All right. Blake, always good sitting down with you. Thanks again for doing this.
Josh, thanks for having me. It was a good time as always.
Absolutely. 3rd time you've been on here. The trio has been completed.
Maybe there'll be a 4th.
Better than Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, part 3. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.